Hello, good morning everyone. Today we shall start the fourth module. Until now you have studied about the different concept of highway, and that is in first module you studied about the different categories of road. That is what are the characteristics of road and this, what are the different types of road, and in cities what are the different types of road, and different parameters like what are the ancient or recommendations given by IRC JICA committee. Different types of recommendations you saw in the first module. That is about the basic introduction of the road and history and pattern, isn't it? And in second module you studied, that is you started surveying how your road will start, and what are the necessary conditions, and where your road should pass and where your road should not pass. That you studied in highway alignment. And the continuation of second module, that is in second module only you studied different geometric design, isn't it? That is horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, stopping side distance, vertical distance. And in vertical curve there are two types of curves. That is, one is summit curve and another one is sag curve. And in horizontal curve you designed about super elevation, extra widening, and number of factors you design. Okay, that is in first part you understand the basic concept. In second part you surveyed and you designed the roads. Okay, that is the designing will be done in the design office. Next, third module what you did, you tested the different materials. That is, you tested the soil. Okay, you classify the different types of soil. That is, one is according to HRB classification, and another was group index classification. Then you tested different types of aggregates, and also basic properties of the aggregates you tested. Also you studied the basic properties of bitumen, different characteristics of bitumen. That one already we learnt in laboratory. And also along with that you solved some of the problem, isn't it? And different tests. That is, one is CBR test, platelet test, and these some of the basic tests which were required you studied. Until third module you studied this. Now what you are doing in fourth module, in already you understand the history and your design. Next you have tested the material. Next, what is your agenda? Next you have to construct. Okay, in this module you are studying the different concept of the construction or construction procedure. That is from the bottommost layer, how the construction procedure will be taking place in the field, and what are the different equipments that is required to construct the different layers, and what is its limitations. Okay, and how the quality testing and how the quality control is being done. All these analysis you are doing in this class. Okay, that that is the basic of this fourth model. Enter, no problems is provided, no problems is allotted in your syllabus. Entirely this fourth model is entirely dependent on the construction procedure. Okay, different types of equipments you will be reading, and how the construction is laying in the field. That one you are studying. And in fifth module what you are doing means, once you have constructed the road, then your main agenda or objective is to generate the income, isn't it? Just by collecting the tolls or finance. Okay, how the finance will be operated, that one you will be studying. Okay, these are the basic five models in our highway engineering. That is, first module will be of introduction, second one is of design, third module will be of the testing of the material, fourth module will be of construction procedure, fifth module once you have constructed the road. Next, your objective is to generate the income. Okay, that one you are studying. We shall see the one by one procedure. Okay, that is, first one is the earthwork. Earthwork and cutting. You can see earthwork, cutting and filling, preparation of the subgrade. This is the first basic, earthwork. Next, wherever cutting is required and when filling is required, you are studying, and preparation of subgrade. Next is the specification and construction of granular subbase, WBM base, WMM, bituminous macadam, dense macadam, and bituminous concrete, and CC concrete. Okay, inter procedure. If you understand any one procedure, next remaining all the construction procedure will be similar, but different types of equipments will be used, and different limiting range will be there. Like aggregate impact test will be less than 30% for your topmost layer, that is surface course, isn't it? Like that bottommost layer, a superior, the material need not be so superior, so somewhat less strength will be required. Okay, only specification will be different, and almost all the construction procedure will be similar, and you are using different types of equipments. Okay, for soil compaction different types of equipment, and that is for bituminous construction different equipments, and GSB and WMM different types of equipments. Okay, in class means we shall have taught, we shall have studied in detail one by one, but just for this purpose we shall uh, finish 2 to 3 in a single class. Okay, so that this entire topic will be completed in 2 or 3 classes, just easy. In your exams you need to write the detailed specification. I will inform you how the questions will be asked in your exams. Okay, just it is a easy complete dry subject, that is entirely theory subjects. I will send some of the videos, and you will also be knowing that you have seen a number of construction in your day to day life, and you are supposed to see the equipments. Okay, during our survey camp only, while coming in the buses you saw many types of construction equipment, same equipments here you are using, and it is generally easy. Just if you understand one concept you will be reading everything. Okay, we shall move. Okay, first one, the basic, or we shall move from the bottommost portion. Okay, that is embankment. We shall understand what is the embankment. Embankment, it is required to raise the grade line of a highway above the existing ground level when it becomes necessary to construct embankment. I will show. Assume this is the road surface. Okay, initially there is no road. Okay, initially there was no road. Okay, this is the road surface, or assume there this is just a village roads. Okay, next you have to upgrade this road to the national highway or state highway. Okay, assume this as a complete, this complete portion will be of some village road. Now you are constructing road above this. What you are doing initially, you are digging the all the layers, and you are constructing embankment. Okay, assume this is your road surface. Okay, general profile, and in that, okay, assume your road surface will be like this. Okay, this portion wherever it is, I will show. Okay, assume these all portion wherever the I'm indicating the star. Is it visible? Okay, wherever the star portion I am representing. Okay, the star portion is a in filling portion, that means embankment you need to construct. Okay, this portion where I am indicating with question mark. Okay, assume these question marks are cutting, means you need to cut the soil here. Wherever the star is provided, there you need to provide the filling portion. That filling portion you will call it as a embankment portion. Okay, in your, some of the people have plotted the highway. Okay, in of extensive survey camp, there I have shown what is embankment and what is cutting. This is the first part, that is embankment. It is required to rise the grade line. Means assume this is an original ground level. You need to rise the road level. So you are filling with the embankment. Okay. And what is the objective? To keep the subgrade above the high ground water table. Means assume. Okay, I will show you. why embankment needs to be constructed means, okay, assume this is the normal portion. Okay, this is the normal portion of the ground, and water table water table will be just beneath your groundwater table. It will be just beneath, that is, it is less than 1.2 meter. Okay, so at that time, you what you need to means, either you need to dewater. Okay, that is, these are the water, this is the water surface, this is the water surface. Okay, entire thing, there is a water, there is a water below this level only, there is a water. Okay, so if rainwater comes, what will happen, this groundwater table will be rising, isn't it? The groundwater table will keep on rising to the higher level, so your payment will become failure. So the best alternative thing is, either first one is, you need to decrease or dewater the water table. Okay, assume the distance is 1 meter, 1.2 meter from here to here, to dewater below that level. Suppose if it is a if it is not economical or it requires high cost means, the best procedure is to construct the embankment. Okay, you are going to construct the embankment above this. Okay, this is the one of the objective. So you are constructing the embankment, that is, if the groundwater table is just below your road surface, or assume it is less than 1.2 meter, at at that condition you have to construct the embankment. Okay, that is to keep the subgrade above the high groundwater table. Next, to prevent damage to payment due to the surface water and capillary water. You know capillary water, that is in BGT or in AGT, you have studied this capillary water. Anyway, I will show what is that capillary water. Okay, listen here. This is the normal road surface or subgrade. Okay, and below this, what is happening? Ice crystals. Okay, I will just show. Okay, assume these are the ice crystals. Okay, in between, you wait, this is the road surface, and okay, just observe, in between. Okay, now observe, in between these two stars there is a void. Can you see? Is it visible, these voids? Okay, assume this as a void. Okay, during winter season, in some of the colder countries, what will happen, the water table, assume here water table is there. Okay, in water table, what will happen, it will melt and it will become ice. That procedure is called as ice crystal, and due to that, what will happen, the water will rise to this surface. Okay, either ice water may rise or normal water will rise to the road surface. That action is called as capillary rise or capillary fall. Okay, I think you have studied in your geotechnical engineering, same procedure. The water will be raised to the road surface. Okay, that process is called as capillary rise. Clear? So to prevent that capillary rise, you are providing the embankment. Okay, that is, first procedure is to keep the groundwater table lower. Second one, to prevent the damage of the pavement due to the surface water and capillary water. Third one, to maintain the design standard. Design standards means just like cutting, filling, and to maintain the vertical alignment you are providing. Okay. And these are the design elements that you need to consider this one, that is height, how much height should be provided from the ground level. Next, fill material. Come, you just you can't simply just construct it at uneven height. Okay, there will be a some standard height, that much height you should fill the material. Third one, it should not undergo settlement due to the rainfall. Okay. Next, stability of the foundation means the soil or whatever the embankment you have constructed, it should be having a good stability. Okay. Similarly, stability of the slopes. Stability of the slopes, you can see here, this is the slope. Okay, this is the main carriageway, and from year to year there is a slope. Okay, there will be a stability of the slope, otherwise the soil will be eroded. Okay, so to prevent this, there should be a proper stability of the embankment. Clear? We shall see in detail one by one. First one is the height. That is, height of the embankment depends on the desired grade line. That is just now I shown. That is either it is a cutting or filling, and also it will depend upon the topography. Okay, whether it is a hilly terrain or it is a natural hilly terrain or mountainous terrain, plain terrain. On all these factors, the height of the embankment will be depending. Okay, and also height of the fill is sometimes governed by the stability of foundation, particularly when the foundation soil is weak. If foundation soil is very weak means, or assume any black cotton soil, or if the soil which will be having a low stability will is available on the nearby surface means, usually or generally the height will be increases, isn't it? If the soil is having a good density or good stability power means, you can reduce the height of the embankment. Okay, and the site will depend upon the foundation. Next, second one is the filling material. Which type of soil you need to use to fill the material? You have to study that. That is, first material is granular soil. You know, that is granular soil will be used in the highway. Okay, the granular soil will be preferred all over the highway. Either it may be for embankment or it may be for a subgrade. And usually the silts and clays are avoided. Okay, because it is less desirable and it is not having a good properties to withstand the load. So you are avoiding the silts and clays. Also, organic soils will be avoided. Why means, organic soil, it will help for the growing of the plants. Okay, which is avoid, which you should avoid in a highway. Okay, so organic soils are not preferred, and silts and clays are not preferred. Only granular soils will be preferred in the construction. Okay, and you have to survey the soils available in the local, and so that the cost of the construction will be reduces. Okay, next, settlement. That is, embankment may settle after the completion of the construction. Okay, assume you have constructed a good road, but after the construction, embankment may fail due to the consolidation. Assume due to the increase in a rain water, the embankment which you have constructed may undergo consolidation due to the accumulation of water. So you should check for the good better withstanding of the foundation, sorry, embankment. Okay, it should not undergo any type of settlement. Okay, next one, stability of the foundation. When the embankment of consists of weak soil, okay, just beneath or at a certain depth. Assume, I will just give an example. At 100 chainage, your road will be having a foundation. Assume just below, just 2 meter below the embankment. That is 99.8. Okay, at 99.8 meters chainage, the soil is very weak. Okay, at that time there is a chance of failure of the foundation. So you should consider these in a these factors while constructing the embankment. Okay, that is, when the embankment foundation consists of weak soil just beneath. Okay, that means just below or at a certain depth below, in the form of weak stratum, it is essential to consider the stability. Means you need to design the soil against this failure. Okay, next, stability of slopes. Embankment slopes should be stable enough to eliminate the possibility of failure under adverse motion. Usually your slope, that is embankment slopes, will fail due to the moisture condition, due to the raining condition. Okay, so you have to consider, or you have to design for the stability of the slope. Okay, just like in your structural design, you will consider minimum factor of safety, right? Similarly, here also you have to consider the factor of safety of 1.5. Okay, suppose strength is 1 means you have, you know what is factor of safety, like that you have to consider, or you have to provide 1.5% factor of safety. Okay, just I will give example. If the load on the aggregate is 100 kilonewton, factor of safety means 100 into 1.5, like means you have to design it for 150 kilonewton load. Okay, just like that you have to consider factor of safety here also. Okay, and how the construction of embankment will be taking place, we shall see. That is, embankment may be constructed either by rolling in a relatively thin layer. You have seen the different types of roller. Okay, what you will do? First, you will bring the soil from the quarry or nearby site. Next, you will spread the soil. Then you will compact in a thin layer. Okay, that is called as rolled earth method, and is preferred in highway embankments. Okay, each layer is compacted by rolling to a satisfactory degree or desired density. I have told you many times, that is, you have to compact by adding a moisture water. Okay, and you have to achieve the minimum dry density. So only you are finding the moisture content or optimum moisture content in the laboratory. That is, you have done in CHMT lab also, and you have done in GT lab also. Okay, to find the maximum dry density and optimum moisture content. That is two methods: standard Proctor method and normal Proctor method. Okay, and we shall see the first one, that is granular subbase. Yes, just for a few minutes you listen this first procedure. If you understand the construction of granular subbase course, automatically you can write the other different layers with just a different specification. All the things of construction will be same. Okay, we shall see how the granular subbase will be constructed. Okay, you can see here GSB. GSB means it is a layer which is provided between subgrade and BC, or you can tell it as base course. Okay, subgrade and base course, between these two layers the GSB is provided. The abbreviation of GSB is granular sub base. Okay, just remember this is the layer subgrade. Above that GSB is there, and above that BC, that is bituminous base course, will be provided. Okay, and GSB, it may be constructed either in a single layer, or it may be constructed in or two or three layer, depending upon the design. Assume if the thickness of the GSB is 200 or 250 mm, you can construct in a single layer. Okay, suppose if it is 500 or 600 mm means you need to construct in three layer. That is, you are dividing 200 mm of first layer, next 200 mm of the second layer, and next 200 mm of third layer. Okay, like that you are constructing. Next, GSB layer should be laid over the full width of the prepared subgrade. Okay, just see the figure. Before this construction procedure, I will just in brief tell the how the construction will be taking place. If you understand that procedure, you will be able to write the remaining answer. See here. Okay, assume this is the embankment layer. Okay, this is the embankment width. Usually, your foundation, or your road will be like this. Okay, this is the general surface of your road. Okay, assume this is a road surface and just note down these points. The bottommost layer is embankment. That this is a embankment will be provided only in a filling portion, and above embankment you are providing subgrade. Above subgrade you are providing subbase. Above subbase you are providing base course. Above base course you are providing binder course. Okay, this is called as embankment. Above embankment subgrade will be provided. Above subgrade you are providing subbase. It may be GSP. Okay, which means granular subbase. It is called as granular subbase. Above this, there is a layer called base course, which may be W, MM, or WBM. Okay,
Waterborne.
as waterborne macadam. And above this, you are providing binder course. Above this, you are providing binder course. Okay, it may be usually DBM, dense bituminous macadam, and topmost layer is called as BC. Okay, surface course, which may be BC. Okay, you will call it as bituminous concrete layer. Okay, just for few minutes understand, embankment will be provided. This embankment will be provided only in filling portion. If it is a cutting portion, this embankment will not be rising. Okay, and this is subgrade. Okay, this subgrade usually you are providing in 2 to 3 layers. Okay, you are providing 2 to 3 layers subgrade. 2 to 3 layers. Okay, and its thickness vary upon the design. Usually 400 to 500 will be provided. And above this, GSP, it is usually provided in single layer, or in some of the cases it will be provided in 2 layers. And this WMM, usually it is provided in a 2 layers. Okay, it is provided in 2 layers. And above this, binder course or DBM is there. You will provide this DBM in a single course, 1 layer. And similarly, this also we will provide in a single layer. Okay, just understand this procedure, how it will be constructed. You can see here, I will just give an example. Okay, you can see the total width of the embankment. Okay, total width, assume this width as a some 20 meter. Okay, and we are constructing for a 2 lane. Okay, and top width will be such that this is the top width, that is bituminous concrete. This width for 2 lane, it will be usually 7 to 7.5 meter. Okay, 7 to 7.5 meter. You can see here how the construction has done. Initially the width is more. Okay, that is the load. You can see here, I will just show. Okay, the load, it will be transforming in this portion. Okay, that is in a trapezoidal portion. Okay, the load will be distributed in the trapezoidal manner. Okay, this is the form. Okay, that is load will be distributed in a trapezoidal manner. So initially the top width will be lesser and bottom width will be greater. So it will be in a form of a trapezoidal portion. In flexible pavement and concrete pavement design or difference, I have informed you. That is, load distribution pattern of flexible pavement is truncated portion, or it is called as a trapezoidal portion. Okay, just assume initially what you will do, you will construct the embankment. Okay, and above that, suppose if it is 20 meter means the width will go on decreasing, that is 19 or 18. Okay, each layer your first the main procedure of entire construction is, first one you are bringing the soil or material from the different portion, and after that you are laying. Okay, once the laying is done, the next part is to compaction. Okay, once laying is done, next compaction is done, and after compaction you are testing the different properties, that is plasticity limit, liquid limit, CBR, and moisture content, dry density. Entire thing you are testing. If it work out to be within the limit, okay, assume maximum dry density should be 98%. If you get maximum density of 98%, you are laying the next layer. Suppose if it is not of that limit, again you are adding some amount of water and you are achieving the dry density. Okay, and if the material or if the construction procedure is poor means, the third party, you won't agree. Okay, that third party will be from the government only. Okay, they will ask you to relay or reconstruct the surface. Okay, like that the procedure will be taking place. Here you can understand subgrade procedure just in detail. I will usually first layer you will construct. Okay, once after achieving all the desired limitations, next you are going to construct the second layer. Okay, like this usually the construction procedure will be taking place in the field. Okay, this is the basic procedure. Okay, that is the this GSB is provided in between subgrade and base course. GSB layer should be laid over the full width. Okay, just now I showed whatever may be the total width up to that width. Suppose 20-meter is the width means you have to lay for the entire width. For 20-meter width of the subgrade, you have to lay the GSB layer, that is extending on the both the layer. And this, what are the functions? It will act as a drainage layer. Remember, this GSB will be called as the drainage layer. Okay, it will act as a drainage layer, and it will not allow the water to percolate inside the moist subgrade. So it is called as a drainage layer. Okay, and it will lead to the longitudinal roadside drains, such that only a very small, only if suppose 90%, in 90% it will only allow 2 to 3% of water to enter the subgrade. Because if any failure occurs in the subgrade means entire pavement will be failure. Okay, that is entire flexural pavement will become fail. So you need to construct in such a manner that a minimum amount of water should percolate inside the subgrade. Okay, hence this layer is called as a drainage layer. Okay, and it will also act as a structural component. Means it will take some amount of the load. Usually, load will be distributed from the topmost portion to the bottommost portion. Okay, suppose 100 kilonewton is the load which stand by the bituminous concrete, and it will transfer some 90% of the load, like 90 kilonewton to the dbm and 80 kilonewton to the wmm, and 50 or 40 kilonewton to the GSB. Okay, load will be decreasing as the depth increases. That is the common point in this. Next, what are the materials required for GSB? These are the materials. One is crushed stone aggregates. You have seen these aggregates in our laboratory. We have tested different types of aggregates, isn't it? Or in abrasion test you use some different bigger size of aggregates, isn't it? 53 passing and 40 retained aggregates you use. Usually that material will be preferred for the construction of GSB layer. That is crushed stone aggregates is the first. Then some amount of gravel is required, and coarse sand, you can call it as coarse sand. Nowadays M sand will be using. Okay, coarse M sand will be used as a coarse sand. And okay, this is the general procedure. Okay, that is the size of the aggregate required or soil required is passing of 0.425, that is 425 micron sieve. The soil should pass through a 425 micron sieve, and minimum liquid limit is 25% and plasticity index is 6%. You have to write all this specification is very important. Okay, liquid limit is less than 25% and plasticity index should be less than 6%. Okay, if we won't achieve this limitations, you have to again relay or compact it again, and you should achieve this much limitation. Okay, next, fines passing 75 micron should be less than 10%. Okay, less than 10% of the points should be passing through this year. Next, CBR value. CBR, you know how to calculate. It should be less than 30%, or it should not. It should be greater than 30% for a important highway, that is national highway, and it may be more than 25 or 20% if it is satisfactory. If the CBR is 20 or 25% for other important roads, that is you can tell it as district roads or village roads. Okay, these are the 3 points. That is, one is liquid limit should be less than 25%, and plasticity index should be greater than less than 6%, and fines passing through 75 microns should be less than 10%. That means there should not, at least there should be 90% of the soil retained in this. There should not be much fines. Then CVR value should be greater than 30%. Okay, these are the limitations. Next, how you will construct, that is GSB layer is constructed on the top of the prepared subgrade. First you will prepare the subgrade. Above subgrade you are going to prepare a GSB layer. Okay, and you are checking the you are removing this thing, that is grass, vegetation or any debris. Okay, unwanted material, if any unwanted materials present in that top surface, means you are scarifying and removing that one. Okay, construction steps, you can see these equipments. These are the equipments which will be used. Okay, that is it will spray the material and it will add the water. Okay, that is after adding you are again compacting, and compacting, after compacting you are achieving the desired gradation or limitations. And in that it is just like a scale, you can measure. It will be a sloping surface. This blade can be adjusted. Okay, it may be straight or it may be in a sloping portion. You can adjust this blade for a desired length or desired slope. Okay, it's just less than 1 minute time is remaining. I will continue. Next, surface material is spread to uniform thickness. First, what you will do, you will spread the material to a uniform thickness. That is using a grader. Next, moisture content of the material is checked. Okay, you have to check for a moisture content of the material. If moisture